You're watching ABC7 News at 7.
I find this to be very curious that they're trying to do this in a preemptive type of manner, and quite frankly, I don't understand it.
The Sarasota County Commission wants to ban the sale of recreational marijuana. Wait, isn't it illegal in Florida already? Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohen, and welcome to ABC7 at 7. We'll have more on Sarasota County trying to impose a ban on recreational marijuana in a moment. But first, our top stories at 7. And we begin tonight with a break in an almost 20-year-long investigation into a Sarasota County murder mystery. The sheriff's office announcing it has important developments in the unsolved murder of Deborah Dalzell. The sheriff's office is not yet saying what the development is. You may remember the high-profile case from March 29, 1999. Sheriff's deputies were called to Dalzell's home on Colony Meadows Lane after co-workers became concerned when she didn't show up for work. When deputies arrived, they found the 47-year-old dead inside her home. They say she was sexually assaulted and murdered. Investigators have been looking for the person responsible for nearly 20 years. We spoke to Dalzell's sister back in 2012.
To have, our lives changed completely. March 29th, 1999. We live very different lives. And everything that happens, there's, always a measure of sadness.
Sheriff Tom Knight will hold a news conference tomorrow morning at 10:30. ABC7 will be there and bring you the developments. The two leading candidates for governor are launching competing plans to improve public education. Republican Ron DeSantis wants to increase merit pay for teachers by requiring 80% of school funding to be spent in the classroom and not on administration. DeSantis also wants to expand school voucher programs. Meanwhile, Democrat Andrew Gillum outlined a proposal to provide a minimum $50,000 starting salary for teachers by increasing the state corporate income tax by $1 billion.
Not one Floridian will pay a dime more under our plan, not one. 98% of corporations in this state would pay no more today than what they will pay under my plan.
Will it really supplement the previous expenditure, or will it supplant some of that expenditure and allow other money that used to be used on education to be funneled off to other places? So that's one of the many problems with just saying, let's get $1 billion here and throw it over there. Government budgeting is much more complicated than that.
Gillum's plan would increase the state's corporate tax rate from 5.5% to 7.75% on some of Florida's richest businesses. Earlier this month on ABC7 at 7, we discussed a new state law requiring all schools in Florida to display the motto, "In God We Trust," in a conspicuous place on campus. In order to comply with the law, the Sarasota County School District put up temporary signs in lobbies and front offices. The district tells ABC7 permanent signs will now go up by the end of the month. In Manatee County, school officials hung signs with the state seal, which already includes the words, "In God We Trust." At least 32 people across 3 states have been killed as Florence throws her final punch across the Carolinas and Virginia. Devastating flooding waters covering the entire communities. At least 5 rivers already at record flooding levels, overtaking more than 1,000 roadways in North Carolina alone. Rescues are still happening too. More than 4,000 people who did not evacuate have so far been pulled to safety. Sarasota County first responders are in North Carolina helping with Florence recovery efforts, and 6 more are now on the way. The group leaving today will relieve the first responders that have been there since early last week. They will be there for 7 days running 911 calls and helping with water rescues. One firefighter paramedic tells us it will be his first time responding to hurricane recovery efforts in another state, but he says they are well equipped and have extensive training.
The situation is it's pretty grave right now, so we are going to head up and help them out. As far as I know, task-wise, we have to wait till we get there. We're just very excited to go up there and help out our brothers up there that are in need. Regardless of whether Sarasota or not, we're going to help.
The firefighters already in North Carolina are in the city of Newport. The 6 on their way today will be stationed in Raleigh and then dispersed to different areas. Now let's head over to ABC7's chief meteorologist, Bob Harrigan. Bob, I spoke to former Congressman Dan Miller from Bradenton today, who vacations in the western part of South Carolina. He's traveling to North Carolina. He says they really only got a couple of inches of rain.
Yeah, in the western part of the state, yes, some areas only did get a couple inches of rain, but most of the eastern third of North Carolina saw 20 inches plus in most areas. Now, the highest total so far that I've seen is 35.5 inches of rainfall in Elizabethtown, North Carolina. So yes, and flooding still occurring along those rivers and streams in North Carolina as a result of the wash-off from the storms that were in western portions of North Carolina and South Carolina. Holmes Beach webcam showing pretty calm conditions out there in the waters. Had a sea breeze kick in. Not much activity on the beaches there. It's going to be a nice sunset. We've had reports of some moderate levels of red tide. Again, some folks out there enjoying the sunset, and should be okay weather-wise. No storms around anticipated right now, but there could be a few later on this evening. Still some energy down in South Sarasota County. And some big storms firing up earlier right there near State Road 64, 70, I-75 toward Oneiko as well, and those have since moved on. Not much going on there right now. There's a chance we could see some activity developing here in the next hour or so as the east and west coast sea breeze kind of collide there, but not much. It's kind of a weak collision there, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a few cells breaking out. Currently, the rain has moved on from the airport. It's 85. It's cooled down after a high today in the low 90s. And the heat index also down. At one point, it was at 102 degrees this afternoon. Winds are calm at this point. So the forecast is calling for a few isolated showers possible. Most areas staying dry this evening. And then tomorrow for drop-off, looks to be pretty good for school. Not a problem there for your commute. Should not be an issue. Tomorrow afternoon, though, we could see some storms, and you want to follow those storms on our ABC7 First Alert Weather app. You can download that for free. No cost. Just get there and download it and follow us along through the rest of the tropical season, which is still over 2 months to go before the official end, which wraps up on November 30th. Alan?
Thank you. Last month, Sarasota County Commissioners had their first public hearing on an amendment that aims to ban the sale of recreational marijuana in the county. Wait, when did it become legal? ABC7's Jackie Kelly joins us more with the proposed amendment. Jackie.
That's right, Alan. The County Commission is considering banning something that isn't even legal in the first place. Why? Sarasota County Commissioner Charles Hines says he worries about what could happen if recreational marijuana becomes legal in the state of Florida.
Please, folks out there, look at the devastating negative impacts that it's had in these other states. We're not talking about you sitting at home. Manatee allows the sale of it. Go buy it, bring it home, do what you're going to do at home or wherever. This is about a store on every corner.
But people like Dr. Barry Gordon, who is the president of Compassionate Cannabis Clinic in Venice, says cannabis users are all ages and aren't people others should fear.
Each and every patient wants the same three things. They want to feel the best they can, they want to do it in the most natural way they can, and they desire to be legal. So I think if and when the legalization of adult responsible use comes to Florida, Sarasota County will be way behind the 8 ball if they've gone the other direction.
Gordon finds it strange the county is considering recreational marijuana in the first place, since it's not even legal in Florida right now and unlikely that it will change anytime soon.
I find this to be very curious that they're trying to do this in a preemptive type of manner, and quite frankly, I don't understand it.
Commissioner Hines saying it's better to be prepared.
I felt it's worth that this community have this conversation now rather than later as to what does this community want to be.
While some community members back recreational marijuana, others do not.
Who wants to be killed by somebody high on recreational marijuana driving down the highway? Same with alcohol. Who wants to get hit by one of those people? The Sheriff's Department has enough to do with opioids, drunk driving people, crime in general. We don't need recreational marijuana in the state of Florida.
But Gordon says having a place people can go where they know what they are getting is safe would be beneficial.
No one should have to go into an illegal environment to get cannabis, plant-based product, right? I also wouldn't want my teenager or anybody, adult, young adult, old adult, going to buy it from somebody who may have methamphetamine, who may have cocaine, who may have those other drugs of abuse.
At last month's meeting, nothing was voted on, but a second public hearing about this topic will take place on October 10th. Reporting in Sarasota, Jackie Kelly, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Coming up, we debate at the trapezoid when we return.
My life motto is keep moving. And as hard as it was when my husband passed away, I knew I had to keep doing what I love. Oops, coming. But I needed help with my insurance, and that's what the NAIC provides. They have resources to help you and your family make the best decision, and they'll help you to keep moving forward, just like me.
If you think it's hot outside, just wait until you see even hotter savings inside. Only at Rugs As Art Hot Summer Savings Sale event will you find the lowest prices on a vast selection of stunning rugs, furniture accents, and accessories. This special event only happens once a year, so hurry in before the best selections are gone. The Hot Summer Savings event ends soon, so don't miss out on the best prices ever. Rugs As Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TrueStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TrueStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
Gettle's got what you're looking for at Gettle.com. 17 new car brands, over 1,000 used vehicles, prices and payments you can afford. Credit help if you need it, and they pay cash for your old car. Plus, Gettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Need service? Gettle's got that too. Gettle's got it. Visit Gettle.com.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device.
Welcome back. So, okay, the Sarasota County Commission is considering banning recreational marijuana, and you're saying, I didn't know it was legal. No, it's not. Nor is there a real good chance your Florida legislature will legalize it anytime soon. But the County Commission wants to make sure if the state does legalize pot, it still won't be legal here. And that raises a number of questions. In addition to why is the County Commission wasting taxpayer time making something illegal when it already is? There's also a little-known term called preemption, which means local municipalities can't pass ordinances that conflict with state law. And joining us for more are former State Representative Keith Fitzgerald, who teaches political science at New College, and Dr. Barry Gordon of the Compassionate Cannabis Clinic of Venice. And Keith, let me start with you because you are the expert on the state legislature. Knowing the legislature as you do, no matter what happens in the governor's race, how likely is Florida going to be one of those states to legalize the recreational use of marijuana?
Well, I haven't seen anything that makes you think that it's right on the horizon. On the other hand, if you look at the polling on this, it's very consistently the case that people prefer legalization with regulation and taxation at a rate of about 56 to less than that, sometimes up to 60. So I think the idea that this would be some kind of scary third rail is just, people are a little bit out of touch.
Barry, you saw the interview in our story there with the gentleman saying, hey, listen, this is the last thing we need. We already have a problem with drunks driving down our highways. Now, do you really want people high on recreational marijuana passing you on I-75 out there?
Well, you know, hey, Alan, let's face it, people are using cannabis already out in society. We're all about education and making sure that the appropriate education is utilized for driving impaired for any substance, be it alcohol, be it opiates, or be it cannabis. So I see this effort as just not recognizing what's in society already, and quite frankly, as I think Keith mentioned, that 56% is going to continue to grow as each year goes by. So just very curious how they're trying to preemptively take action against something that's not even legal yet in the city. I would think they'd have other things to do.
Okay. Our conversation on Sarasota County trying to impose a recreational ban on marijuana continues right after we get a check on the First Alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Alan, right now we're looking at the Lakewood Ranch webcam showing some clouds increasing earlier this afternoon and brought a little bit of rainfall. You see it there and then quickly fades away as some drier air has been moving in from the Gulf of Mexico right now, and there's not much out there. A few showers possible well inland, and then about a 20% chance for a coastal shower to move back in. The winds have been really light, and that has made for some calm seas out there. Get a look at this reflection of the morning shot over Sarasota Bay. Some showers were off in the Gulf to start things off. Those faded away. Yeah, Norm sending that one in, appreciate it. And again, Cindy Desmond getting this one. This was midday, and not many people out there near the Venice Jetty as a result of some moderate, at least, impacts of red tide they're feeling across some of the area beaches. High pressure keeping winds rather light right now. That high pressure will eventually build across the eastern third of the nation, and that'll give us more of an easterly wind to southeasterly wind over the latter half of this work week and into the weekend. That's good news. As far as the red tide goes, and we see that stronger east wind, we get a little bit more offshore flow, and it keeps the harmful impacts anyway offshore. It won't really break up the red tide much. Here's where the two are meeting right now, the east and west, right there in the central portions of Hardy County, and one lone shower popping up into Charlotte County. We could see a few isolated cells here and there developing. There's still some energy down south. Boy, some big storms earlier near Manatee County along I-75 and State Road 64 near Heritage Harbor. About 1.5 inches right there, stretching all the way over to Waterleaf, and a little bit of rain down to State Road 70 near Terra and near Oneiko, but not much elsewhere. Things were rather sporadic across Manatee County. For tonight, this model depicting a few isolated cells, not necessarily this widespread, but I think we'll see a few scattered showers and a few thunderstorms possible up until around the 10 o'clock hour. Then tomorrow, the sea breeze will develop, start to work its way inland, a few showers popping up along it just after noon, and then most of the action will be east of I-75, and a couple of those will head back toward the coast later on in the afternoon. Better chances for that convergence to set up and more showers and storms in the afternoon and evening. Thursday, Friday, and into the weekend, too. A little bit better chance for those afternoon storms. Well, a lot of rain has fallen into Jamaica yesterday, and then today the Cayman Islands, stretching off now to the Yucatan Peninsula. This is a tropical wave for the most part. It's the remnants of what was Isaac that will continue to stay well south of us as it pushes off to the west-northwest in time. There's no real threat of it redeveloping. You can see a cluster of storms here and there, nothing gathering around a center of low pressure, so no big concern. But we do have to watch this area. The Western Caribbean Sea is a favorite area for development during the latter half of the hurricane season, and that's what we're going to get into here. So again, the forecast is calling for that moisture anyway to move off toward the west. And as far as the overall picture goes, we are watching this storm, Joyce, making a comeback. It was a tropical storm. It went to the southwest and then back to the east and now back to the south. A little unusual to see that kind of motion and movement, but that's what happens with weak systems and expected to fade away here fairly quickly out there in the Atlantic. It's been an active season so far, 10 named storms, one major hurricane. Typically we see about 5 more before the official end, and one major storm. 90 degrees the high today, 89 is the average, close to it. 77 was the morning low, a little bit above average. For boaters tomorrow, not much wind out there as that high pressure will dominate. Seas will be running pretty calm for the most part. As far as the 7-day forecast goes, a slight chance for showers tomorrow, similar to what we saw today, hit or miss, and then 50% chance as we take it in through the weekend. fall officially arrives on into Saturday night just before 10 o'clock in the evening. Alan will be back with his guests right after this. Stick around.
The final 2018 Accord clearance is now during our model year-end clearance sale. Drive new Accords for just $249 a month. Get an Accord, the North American car of the year, for less than the competition. With more standard features than Camry, Honda Sensing, multi-angle camera, turbocharged engine, and more. New Accords, just $249 a month. Your last chance for new Accords. All on clearance this week at your local Honda dealer.
Call to see if you qualify to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan right now. At Humana, we believe great things are ahead of you when you start with healthy. And part of staying healthy means choosing the right Medicare plan. Humana can help. With Original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits when you're sick, but keep in mind you'll have to pay a deductible for each. A Medicare supplement plan can cover your deductibles and coinsurance, but you may pay higher premiums than you do with other plans, and prescription drug coverage isn't included. But with an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you could get all that coverage plus Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable monthly plan premium, and in some areas, no plan premium. It's all described in this free book. Call for yours and discover how an all-in-one Medicare Advantage plan from Humana could save you money. There is no obligation and the book is free. Call or go online right now.
It's hard to see when you're outside at night. It's time for the Atomic Beam Sunblast, the new solar-powered light that's super bright. Atomic Beam Sunblast lets you add a light anywhere, and the atomic solar panels charge the built-in lithium-ion battery quickly. Then the 180-degree motion sensor turns on the light when you get near and automatically turns off when you disappear. Look, here's a best-selling outdoor solar light. And here's the super bright Atomic Beam Sunblast. Get the super bright Atomic Beam Sunblast for only $19.99. But wait, call right now and you can double your order and get a second Sunblast, plus our best-selling Atomic Beam Flashlight. Just pay a separate fee. That's 2 Atomic Beam Sunblasts and the Atomic Beam Flashlight. Call now.
Call 1-800-431-6640. That's 1-800-431-6640. Or visit mysunblast.com. So call 1-800-431-6640. Order now.
There's nothing like this trail in Alabama. It just goes from the northern part of the state to the southern part of the state. We see all kind of different terrains, great value, great fun. We've been coming for 18 years. We started off with a group of 8, grew to 12, and grew to 16. And we love it because where else can you get world-class golf courses with world-class accommodations? To be able to play these type of courses in this environment, and the difficulty keeps us coming back over and over and over again.
Welcome back. We are talking about Sarasota's effort to ban recreational marijuana. And joining us for more are former State Representative Keith Fitzgerald, who teaches political science at New College, and Dr. Barry Gordon of the Compassionate Cannabis Clinic of Venice. And we also should point out we invited a number of the county commissioners to join us tonight, and they couldn't. But Keith, let me start right now with you, because the county attorney told commissioners that if the commission does adopt this ordinance, the practice may become legal statewide. The state law could preempt county law. What exactly does that mean?
So in our system of government, local governments, counties and cities get all of their authority ultimately from the state. They're incorporated with the state. And since the state then is sovereign, it has the ability to preempt or overrule laws that are made locally. And the legislature here in Florida has been doing a lot of preemption in recent years. Personally, I think local democracy is a really good idea, so I don't personally approve of preemption. This, I think, is sort of a complicated case, so I'd imagine there would be lawsuits if they do this.
Barry, looking at the big picture, what would really be wrong with that in this case? After all, if you think about alcohol, we all know that there are dry counties or communities across the nation. I'm thinking about Martha's Vineyard, Vineyard Haven, if anybody is familiar with it. You can't buy alcohol there. What's wrong with a community making its own decision?
Well, I think the community needs to make the decision on an educational basis, Alan, not based on false fears, old prohibitionist attitudes, things of that nature. And I think, quite frankly, just attacking it in one way. As you know, I've got you off calling it medical marijuana, but medical cannabis now, right? Same thing goes here. You'll never hear one of the advocates call it recreational cannabis use. We call it adult, legal, responsible use, right? Because that's an entirely different thing. You'll never hear anybody call it recreational alcohol use, right? So it just needs to be approached appropriately with the right education so that everybody uses every substance appropriately.
There are some states that have moved in this direction so far. How is it working out there?
Listen, it's interesting. The research shows that maybe after a little initial rise in use, in general, teenage use goes down. Adult use of alcohol also goes down, and we're seeing in any number of states that use of opiates goes down. So it's not the fear chicken little sky is falling scenario that people would want you to believe.
What a lot of our viewers would be concerned about right now. They would be concerned about their kids going out to that place of business down the street and buying something that they tried to raise their kids in terms of do not try, do not smoke.
I'm a parent. I understand the concern. All parents want to protect their kids from their own bad judgment. But here's the thing to remember. People are already smoking marijuana. There's not a kid in this county or anywhere in the United States who cannot find a source of marijuana if they want it. One of the big advantages of legalizing it is that you can regulate it for safety. You can actually do a really nice job of keeping young people from buying it. You know, as the doctor says, the results show that it really doesn't have the terrible effect that people fear.
We are just getting warmed up on our conversation on the Sarasota County trying to ban the recreational use of marijuana. It will continue right after a quick break. Stay with us.
So I kind of grew up all across the country. I come from 5 generations of military men. My dad is still active duty. My grandpa is retired Marines. I like going for runs with my dog. I love, you know, taking her out to the dog beach over in Venice. There are so many things here to do on the Suncoast. My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
A policeman stopped.
Yeah, it was the lady parked next to me.
I called my wife.
My dad got up in the middle of the night.
My neighbor helped me out.
I called a tow truck.
Anyone can jumpstart your car, but for saving $20 on X2 Power car batteries, there's no one like Batteries Plus bulbs.
I'll install it myself.
I'd like you to do it.
Visit batteriesplus.com for a store near you.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call, and you cannot be turned down for any reason. Even if you have health problems or are living on a fixed income, guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance policies could work for you with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. TruStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
My mom didn't have life insurance and the cost all fell on me. And that's expensive. We're still paying for that.
Yeah, we're still paying for that.
Call 1-800-218-4991 now. In one phone call, you can help prepare your family with protection amounts up to $25,000. There are no medical tests or health questions. And remember, you cannot be turned down for any reason. In fact, TruStage policies are already protecting over 18 million Americans. And rates are designed to be affordable, starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease.
When I leave, everything will be taken care of for them.
Call 1-800-218-4991 now for a free, no-obligation quote. TruStage offers plans to fit your budget with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage. Call 1-800-218-4991 now.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device. You're watching ABC7 News at 7:30.
Welcome back. We are talking about Sarasota's effort to ban recreational marijuana. And joining us for more are State Representative Keith Fitzgerald, who teaches political science at New College, and Dr. Barry Gordon of the Compassionate Cannabis Clinic of Venice. So, Keith, let me start with what I started with initially, and that is, why is the county considering passing this ordinance when it is not even legal in the state? A lot of people may be watching this right now and say, look, we have so many challenges in Sarasota County. Why don't we do something about fixing something that is already legal or illegal?
The only explanation I can come up with is that it's grandstanding. You know, we're an older community. There are people who are very concerned about this issue, and they just want some attention. Now, you know, I would say that the proposals that most people have about a statewide program, and by the way, it's not just legalization, it's regulation and taxation. Almost all of them include a local option. So people should have some say at the local level about what they're comfortable with. So I don't have a problem with that. But it's not on the agenda now. I think they're just trying to get a little attention.
And we want to make the point once again that we invited a number of the county commissioners to appear on this broadcast, and they did not. But Barry, you know, we are concerned about our kids, whether it's a matter of alcohol or marijuana or other kinds of drugs, and many parents believe that marijuana, as we have been taught, is a gateway to other things. And you know, it's not a partisan issue any longer. You know, Patrick Kennedy, who is a friend of mine, the former congressman, campaigns around the country against marijuana becoming legal because he believes it is a gateway drug.
Well, you know, he has a personal history of addiction too, Alan, of course. You know, and what I want to speak to is that the research actually speaks to the fact that cannabis is not the entry drug. It's actually alcohol, which is the primary entry drug. And then, quite frankly, opiate pills lead to further opiate abuse. Now, let's face it, you don't want your teenager running around with older kids drinking alcohol, smoking weed, pot, dope, grass, ganja, and doing all those other things. That can surely add up to be a disaster. But my belief is that by teaching the adult population appropriately about cannabis, then they teach their own teenagers and their own family. I think that's really how you solve these social issues, are within the family and the teaching environment there. We know that society in general, law enforcement, all the DARE programs, they really haven't been able to solve the, you know, drug quote-unquote problem to anybody's satisfaction. So cannabis really should not be considered with those other quote-unquote drugs. It's more of a plant. It's more of something that, quite frankly, with the endocannabinoid system that we all have within us, that we're actually programmed to use. So it's nothing new. It's been around for eons, and no one's ever died from it. And quite frankly, the safety profile is much better than alcohol. That's easy.
But Keith, isn't this what some people were concerned about during our debate over medical marijuana, that they say, hey, listen, you pass it in Florida, medical marijuana, and the next thing they're going to come after is saying, let's make it, you know, legal recreationally?
I think you have to assess policies on the basis of what the likely outcome of the policy will be. If you design the policy just right, very carefully, you can actually discourage use among teenagers, and yet you make it safer for people who already use it. People are already using marijuana. We've tried for 80 years to have a prohibition regime, and it's failed. It evidently failed. So the question isn't what were people scheming to do 2 or 3 years ago. The question is, what does a wise policy look like? And we can set up this policy in the right way. Derive, by the way, somewhere in the neighborhood of $500 million here in the state of Florida that can be put to good use, including treatment for opiate addiction and treatment, paying for mental health services, which are very scarce around this state. So you can take that $500 million. It's hard to estimate. It's somewhere in that neighborhood, maybe a little south, and use it for good things. Actually address the drug problems we have.
But aren't there a number of obstacles that other states that are legalizing it for recreational or medical uses still having to overcome, and including that federal law has not changed? It is still illegal under FDA rules and regulations, and therefore companies like, whether it's for recreational use or medical marijuana use, can't do their banking in normal ways. And wouldn't we be bringing those issues into Florida when right now it exists less?
Listen, Alan, in the space we all navigate around all those federal Schedule I issues. But the most important thing is that the federal Schedule I designation inhibits further research into medical cannabis and cannabis in general. And that's really the issue. Everybody wants more dedicated research, the type of double-blinded studies that other medicines have been able to show their effectiveness from. So we know the safety profile of cannabis is unmatched. Now we need to get the research going to show the positive social benefits, both on the medical side and, quite frankly, once again, legal adult responsible use. It's an exit drug for alcohol. It's an exit drug for opiates. It's an exit drug for other recreational substances, much more dangerous than cannabis.
Keith, nobody knows the Florida legislature and Florida politics better than you do. Can you think of other situations where a community has tried to make sure something remains illegal when it already is illegal in the state?
I can't think of anything exactly like that. These preemption issues actually show up in all kinds of places. So Sarasota County tried to have a fairly high standard for its fertilizer ordinances, correctly so, by the way, and the state preempted them. And I know exactly where that came from. It came from fertilizer companies. And the big
sounds like another show that we're actually planning to do.
Yeah. So, this preemption thing is all over the place, and I personally don't like it. But this, making something illegal that's already illegal, again, I have to suspect it's grandstanding.
Barry, do you think that the County Commission will actually vote on this? And if so, what are you and some of your colleagues planning to do about it?
If the County Commission is going to vote on this, Alan, I would like to invite them to my clinic first to see the type of patients that come into the clinic, to see what medical cannabis is doing for those patients. I think that would give them a much better sense of what we're seeing in the cannabis space in general, both medicinal cannabis and what ultimately I think in this state will be legal adult responsible use. So they need to come in and get educated, and I welcome them anytime they want.
We're talking about recreational use of marijuana here, but if you're talking about its usage for pain and why people use it for medical reasons, would their treatment be more effective or better if they were using the smokable kind without taking the...
Well, we know there's a lawsuit right now pending at the state level, of course. It's probably going to go to the Supreme Court. That would be the Kathy Jordan, John Morgan, John Mills smokable cannabis case, already decided in favor of the people of the state of Florida. But 10 minutes it took the state to appeal the case on our tax dollars.
Right,
so
time for final thoughts here. Keith, when you see the County Commission considering an ordinance like this, given what the situation is the state, what should people walk away with?
I think that what I would encourage them to do on this issue is actually look at research and look at the facts. You have to design a state law just right to make it a wise policy. It can be done. I think this is really a fear-based thing. I don't know who put them up to this or what the point of it was, but I don't take it very seriously as far as a policy debate's concerned.
Barry, do you think that this is just a matter of time when states like Florida will make marijuana legal for even recreational reasons?
Well, I do, and I think that's the most important part of the medical program, is showing these citizens of the state of Florida that people can use cannabis appropriately, can go to work, pay their bills, raise their kids, and do all the things that, quite frankly, we've been knowing that people have been doing illegally using cannabis through the years. So it's time to bring it out of the closet it, make it appropriately legal, and make sure that we educate and advocate appropriately for the safe use.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much. Dr. Barry Gordon of the Compassionate Cannabis Clinic of Venice and Professor Keith Fitzgerald, who teaches political science at New College. When we return, we'll be joined by our consumer watchdog, Jerry Zivick, who will be here to discuss ads that can be misleading, so stick around.
It's Venice Toyota's monumental model year-end clearance. Rates are rising. For a limited time, 0%. New Toyotas, $8,000 off. With Camrys and Corollas, your choice from $19,900 to $15,000. Shop 24/7 at VeniceToyota.com.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Gettle's got what you're looking for at Gettle.com. 17 new car brands, over 1,000 used vehicles, prices and payments you can afford. Credit help if you need it, and they pay cash for your old car. Plus, Gettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Need service? Gettle's got that too. Gettle's got it. Visit Gettle.com.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
It's Venice Toyota's monumental model year-end clearance. Rates are rising. For a limited time, 0%. New Toyotas, $8,000 off. RAVs and Highlanders from $26,900 to $2,900. Shop 24/7 at VeniceToyota.com.
Welcome back. Social Security and Medicare ads, we see them everywhere from online to TV, but how do we know which ones are reliable? Luckily for us, we have ABC7 consumer watchdog Jerry Zivick here to explain. So Jerry, exactly what are we talking about?
Well, actually, probably Americans interact with Social Security more than any other agency, and people are unaware of the fact that if a marketing company markets that they have an authorization by Social Security, if they use their card or their symbol, that's against the law. In fact, every time some marketer uses it, it's a $5,000 fine each time. Anybody over 50 that lives in the Sarasota area has received a mailer, come here to learn about how to maximize your retirement benefits. If they're using any type of government emblem, that's really a violation of the law.
And I would imagine if you get that kind of flyer in the mail or you see it online, the hitch there is that you wind up being offered to pay for services that otherwise should be free.
Well, exactly. And a lot of times companies will sometimes want to charge you to get a new Social Security card if it's lost or if you got remarried or if you have a child that's born. Or even if they don't want to charge you for that, they offer to do it for you, then they're going to take that data and sell that elsewhere. These are all things that Social Security will gladly do for the public.
Well, that's my next question. You know, how can one tell that this is a service that they could get for free, and that Social Security would be happy to help them out with it?
Anytime anybody's charging you any fee for anything to deal with the government, that's a big red flag. You should call the agency right away. Social Security has a toll-free number. You can call them and say, can you help me do this? And they'll say, sure.
And the obvious question is, who is holding these companies accountable for this?
Well, the problem is most of our viewers don't know this is a violation of the law. If you would turn in a mailer that you got, send it into the Social Security Attorney General, not Attorney General, the Social Security hotline for fraud, then they would probably act on it. They don't have the resources to go about the country and see what's being mailed or what's on the internet.
And this may be a tough question, but is there any kind of estimate how much money we are spending on companies offering to do business, whether with Social Security or Medicare, that really should be free?
I've never seen any facts or figures, but obviously it's enough money that people are going into business to make this money. So there's obviously a business decision made that money can be made and enough of it's at stake. There was one company operating out of Texas that had multiple websites, and they were fined over $300,000 for multiple violations.
Incredible. Jerry, thank you very much. Jerry Zivic joins us every other Tuesday in our For-Your Benefit segment when we return our primetime headlines. But right now, let's get a final check on our first alert forecast from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Thanks, Alan. Well, look at this gorgeous sunset today. ABC7 Tower Cam over Sarasota Bay as the sun's setting there. Some high cirrus clouds moving overhead, creating spectacular colors as you see right there, and just gorgeous out there. I'm sure a lot of photos will be sent into pics at mysuncoast.com. And speaking of that, earlier today, had a nice photo sent in from Norm. That's right, Reflections. Getting a nice shot on Sarasota Bay. Calm conditions out there, too, and Cindy Desmond getting that shot down into the Venice jetties. Well, the sea breeze was pretty active earlier today in western portions of Manatee County from Parrish to Ellington to State Road 64 and 70. That activity has since moved on and sent out these outflow boundaries. You can see right where they meet is when we're starting to see the storms develop and pop up. So they're there now into Polk County, into northern portions of Hardy County. We'll see more scattered about, not a lot. It'll be scattered of shower and thunderstorm activity, which will tend to drift off toward the west in time. So there's a slight chance for an isolated shower or two popping up here along the coast or moving into the coast later on this evening. But the rainfalls totals haven't really been all that impressive across most of the area. It's been relatively dry with the exception of that area I mentioned into Parrish, stretching down toward Ellington and then into Oneiko as well, down near Lakewood Ranch at State Road 70. Well, the forecast model, the Futurecast indicating some of that activity around, but not much. Don't worry too much about that. We'll see a few scattered storms around. Overnight should be generally fair, but it will be warm. Low temperatures into the upper 70s. We'll see another west coast sea breeze develop. We'll have plenty of sunshine to start the day off, and then that will create the sea breeze, which will in turn create a few scattered storms. The rain chance not all that high, though, as some dry air is into the upper levels of the atmosphere. We'll see then mainly inland storms later on the day. Now, the east wind will come back on Thursday, and that will allow us to see a better chance for some coastal showers and storms, some of which could be strong and will generate a little bit more lightning than we've seen, too, over the past couple of days, and that'll be in play on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Down south, the remnants of Isaac continue to march off to the west. It's just basically an open wave, if you see. Western portion of Cuba getting some big storms near the Cayman Islands and stretching off toward Honduras. Now, that activity is not expected to gain strength or organize, for that matter, due to some strong upper-level winds in the atmosphere, but this is a favorite area for development that we typically look for over the upcoming months. So the next 2 months, this will be somewhere we'll watch closely because the storms that do develop in the Caribbean tend to move into the Gulf of Mexico and obviously put us at risk. The next storm would be Kirk. That's the next one up, followed by Leslie, Michael, and Nadine. And it looks like there's a chance we could get as far as the end name storm due to the fact we still have 2 months to go. Now, there's a peak of hurricane season. We just went through it. That was September 10th, and that's when we had like 5 storms out there in the Atlantic Basin. Then we drop off for a couple of weeks. We go into this lull because all the energy was used up by the previous storms, and then we get another peak into mid to early parts of October. So that's when we'll watch again. We'll watch the entire season, but that'll be kind of a crucial time frame for us. As far as temperature go, 85 degrees right now at the airport. It feels like 92, and the humidity at 67%. The high today was A warm one, warmed up to 90 degrees, 1 degree above average, but the heat index was at 103 degrees for places this afternoon. 95, the record high temperature where you can say goodbye to Florence, the remnants thereof, heading out into the Atlantic again. And then we have some weak frontal system. That's what's picking Florence up and carrying it off to the east. Well, for boaters tomorrow, not much wind for your sail. A light chop on the bays and inland waters. Winds will be out of the east, turning around to the northwest. The extended forecast then, slight chance for those afternoon storms, otherwise partly cloudy and hot. And the extended forecast calling for better chance for scattered storms. Riding in through the weekend, fall coming in on Saturday evening at 9:45 or so. But it'll still feel like summer after that. Al will be back with his guests, or be right back with primetime headlines right after this.
So, you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So, pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half-mile to class, or learn online at Independence University. In the park on a bench, on the beach on a towel, or on your couch with your kid, your campus is wherever you want it to be. You don't go to college. College goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. You schedule classes around your schedule, and all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. At Independence U, you'll learn from professional instructors with real work experience. You'll get personal support in school and employment assistance when you graduate. Get your degree, but keep your life. That's independence. That's Independence University. So if you're really smart, you'd call now.
Call 1-800-965-2704.
Independence U, for an independent you.
Call 1-800-965-2704.
Performing on stage takes mental and physical preparation. But one thing I never thought to prepare for was cervical cancer. 91% of cervical cancers are caused by the human papillomavirus, or HPV. The good news is there are vaccines that can protect you or your children from cancer. I survived my cancer, but you can stop cancer before it starts. Talk to your doctor and go to thinkaboutthelink.org to learn more.
WWSB ABC7 is an equal opportunity employer, and we're looking for qualified people to join our dynamic team. For a list of current openings and to apply online, visit www.mysuncoast.com/contact/employment. If you're a motivated team player and you want a rewarding career in a fun, fast-paced working environment, WWSB ABC7 could be the perfect fit for you. Check out our list of openings now.
Being empowered starts with getting informed, looking closer. 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in her lifetime. But many of us don't know there are different types of breast cancer with different characteristics. That was me. Learning about the specifics of my diagnosis gave me the confidence to make informed treatment decisions with my doctor. This meant everything to me and my family. So take another look. Ask another question. Learn more at notonetype.org.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. ABC7 News at 7, weeknights.
Checking primetime headlines, the Senate Judiciary Committee scheduled a Monday hearing to question Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh and his accuser, Dr. Christine Blasey Ford. But as of now, she has not confirmed that she'll attend. ABC's Lana Zach is following the story in Washington.
Will Dr. Christine Blasey Ford testify? And what happens if she doesn't?
If she is not going to be part of the hearing, that would be a very interesting and unfortunate turn of events.
Blasey Ford's allegation that Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her when he was drunk at a high school party in the 1980s has upended Washington. Senate Judiciary Chairman Chuck Grassley announced there would be a hearing into the allegations on Monday, but so far Blasey Ford has not responded. Democrats want the FBI to investigate before the hearings proceed.
There must be an agreement on witnesses, and the FBI should be given time to reopen its background check investigation into Judge Kavanaugh. making it much less likely that it will devolve into a he said, she said affair.
And even though the FBI is charged with background checks, President Trump says he will not be ordering them to follow up.
I don't think the FBI really should be involved because they don't want to be involved. They say this is not really their thing. But I think politically speaking, the senators will do a very good job.
On Monday, the accuser's attorney told GMA Blasey Ford would testify.
She's willing to cooperate. What she's not willing to do is to be part of this bloodletting that happens in Washington.
But she also said she's not going to allow her client to become another Anita Hill.
These last few days have been very trying and very hard for me.
Kavanaugh has vehemently denied the allegation. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says that if Blasey Ford does not want to appear publicly, she may testify privately. But either way, he says that should happen on Monday. Lana Zak, ABC News, Washington.
President Trump is ordering the declassification of some documents tied to the Russia probe. The White House says the move is to increase transparency around the investigation. The declassification applies to parts of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act used on former Trump aide Carter Page. It also covers all FBI reports connected with the warrant request. The order will declassify text messages from several FBI agents who butted heads with Trump, including former Director James Comey. That has some critics concerned about the politicization of intelligence materials. Former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn is ready to be sentenced. That's what prosecutors and his defense team are telling a federal judge. The legal teams asked the judge to set Flynn's sentencing for the end of November. The sentencing has been delayed 4 times since he pleaded guilty to lying to investigators last December. The change suggests Flynn's cooperation with the Mueller investigation will end soon. Until 3 days ago, he was the highest-ranking Trump associate cooperating with the probe into Russian interference in the 2016 presidential elections and its aftermath. But Friday, former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort agreed to fully cooperate with Mueller as well. Charged with insider trading, no problem. Indicted Republican Congressman Chris Collins will remain on the November ballot despite suspending his re-election bid last month. His attorney confirmed he is still running for his fourth term in New York, citing possible legal challenges by Democrats that could result from efforts to remove Collins from the ballot. The Buffalo area congressman faces charges of securities and wire fraud and making false statements related to the alleged insider trading. Collins has rejected the charges as meritless and vows to fight them. And that's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.